Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Record of Lodoss War-Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. The game was developed by Why So Serious and Team Ladybug and was also published by Why So Serious and Playism and was released in early access mode on a PC in 2020. The game itself is a 2D Metrovania style platformer, which many will instantly know and understand the history of the second that they see its Record of Lodoss in the title. However, for many others out there, they might not have a clue about anything about this game's history or its lore. So for them, this might be their first experience getting to know this type of game and the history that's been built up around it. So, is this game any good or not then? Let's find out more in the review. The main character Deedlit awakens suddenly in a mysterious, unknown place. She wonders, where am I, why am I here, and what happened? With nobody around to respond to her questions, she's only met with an eerie silence. Seeking answers, Deedlit eventually sets off on foot alone. And story-wise, that's pretty much it at present. You will meet several characters throughout the game who fans will instantly recognise, and you will have vague conversations with them. But at the moment the game itself is still in a very early access mode, and as such nothing really is fully complete yet or fully set in stone. So whilst there is some story here, it still is in a very early access mode, and will obviously change as the game grows and gets more closer to completion. But at present what is there is rather vague and not really explained very well, but hopefully will do once the game is more closer to completion. Character-wise, the game's main focus is on Deedlit herself, and you're not really given much information on her aside from a couple of small details. Fans from the anime and novels and whatnot will already know who Deedlit is, but for brand newcomers to this franchise, she might just come across as a bit of a mystery, as this game currently doesn't really go into a lot of detail about her. There are other characters who will pop up during the game's gameplay who Deedlit knows, and who fans will instantly recognise, and she does have some conversations with them. However, they never really delve into anything which can give you a full scale of storyline, or anything like that at present. Again, remember, this is an early access game, and even though the foundations are laid out as it were, there's still a long way to go before this game has a beginning, a middle and an end. Gameplay wise, it's your traditional 2D style platformer, which borrows many elements from past other 2D style era games, such as Castlevania, Elisa Dragoon, and many others. You're going to be hacking and slashing your way through hordes of the undead, goblins, wolves, monsters, and then fight off against various bosses such as giant sea serpents, dark elves, or giant archaism golems. If I were to explain the game's gameplay mechanics in a simple and easy to understand way, it really does play a lot like the old Castlevania style games. So if you have played any of those, then you will have a vague idea of what to expect here from this one. You're going to be going from location to location, hacking off limbs from any bad guys that get in your way, whilst trying to solve puzzles and collect various items and power-ups, whilst also trying to level up and gain new weapons and equipment. The game's graphics are going for the pixel style animation look. So think 16-bit era type Mega Drive looks, but with slightly updated features and options that you would expect to find in today's modern era games. I don't really have any bad comments to say about the game's graphics, because I do think that they are indeed very nicely well done and created, with everything running on an engine which works exceptionally well. I do think that at present we're just going to have to wait and see what else is added to the game's graphics, be it from character portraits to fully rendered cutscenes. I think that we're just going to have to wait and see. At present, the game's environments are a bit limited, with only a few locations currently finished and available for you to explore in. These will mostly consist of either the woodland area, which will be filled with wolves, goblins and other such creatures, whilst the other is the dungeon location, which will be filled with traps, puzzles, the undead, and more. So while you don't get a huge amount to currently exploring, the game does give you a taste of what to expect for when this game grows and how things will change as more is added to the game until it is eventually finished. I will say that what is there at present really is quite impressive and I really did like it. And if this is what the taster is, then I can't wait to see the finished product. If you are looking at this game and are thinking about buying it, then please do remember that this is an early access game, and currently just has over about an hour's worth of gameplay on it, depending on your playthrough preference. The game, whilst being utterly fantastic with a great moulding of platforming, puzzle solving, boss fights and more, is still a fair ways off from being complete and a finished product. So you do need to understand that when, and if indeed you do buy this game in its current state, that you're doing so investing for it in the future. Whilst the game may still be very early in development, I can't help but want to see more and play more of it, and pray for its success, as it really is a fantastic 2D platformer which can instantly draw you in just by the gameplay alone. Would I recommend Lodoss War-Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth? Yes, I definitely would. It is very early days for the game yet, but just by what's been shown here so far, you just know that with each update upon update until the game is eventually finished, things are only going to get bigger and better, and if you are a fan of this franchise, then you can't help but get excited for what's to come. Well, that's it for this video guys. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.